Big win, Don Wilson here for Top MMA News. Here with the ruckus, Brendan Thatch. And fans, if you don't know who he is, go back and watch the minute and 30 seconds of video that's out there of his last 6 fights, because they've gone so quickly. Now, before I touch on this fight, there's something I got to ask you. I know we've heard it in a few press calls, but the last fight we saw here before the Glamont fight, you knocked out, I believe it was Yuri Erickson in vicious fashion. He was on the ground, and what did you do? You took a knee till he got up. Tell me where that sportsmanship comes from.
My father, Clarence Thatch, was my original instructor, and he fought over in Japan. And the fighters out there treated it more as a sport, and I consider myself a sportsman before all else. And you know, if I'm getting knocked out or I'm knocking somebody out, I expect them to hold themselves accountable. And I'm not the kind of guy that's going to stand over somebody and get all crazy and hyped up. You know, I'm going to take a knee, I'm going to do what I need to do, make sure they're finished. I'm not going to take any extra blows when I know they're already done. Yep. And if they're done, I'm going to go to the opposite end of the cage. I'm not going to stand over them and boast. I'm going to take a knee and wait till the doctor checks them out. And then once they're okay and everything's all right, then I'll take my celebration and I'll have fun. But until then, you know, I'd be respectful, and I know that someday my day is going to come, I'll be out, and hopefully they're not acting like a fool over me.
Now, that's something else I want to touch on too, is, you know, when your name is announced, you're still one of the few fighters that uses almost the traditional Thai bow. You know, do you try to stick very traditional, not only in your training, but in your matches as well? I
mean, I don't really have any traditions. I come from my father's background. He's a martial artist, and you know, I treat it like a sport. It's my sport. I'm not a blood fighter. I'm not a thug by any means, and I treat it as a sport. So I'm a sportsman at first, and it means bowing, giving respect to my fans, the judges, my opponent, and it's all about respect.
Well, I got to say, the respect is definitely great, and it's good to see that still is prevalent in today's MMA. Now let's get on to what just happened. You know, you just submitted Martin Glamont, and I guess submit is the weird word. You know, everyone thought this was going to be a knockdown, drag-out slugfest, and you were able to get the takedown of the submission pretty quick. Was that the plan from the get-go, or were you just playing it by ear?
No, you know, I'm going to go and I'm going to get a W, you know, and if it means taking somebody down, then I take somebody down. I don't even really remember how I took somebody down, how I took it down, but I know we fell down to the ground and I had one hook in, I secured the other hook, and I went for the choke. I was prepared for every aspect of this fight. I knew I could out-wrestle him. I knew our jiu-jitsu was about the same, and I knew my striking was better. So if I'm going to get a win, I'm going to get a win. I'm not going to look for it. I'm not going to make it happen. If the knockout comes, it comes, and if the choke comes, it came. So I took it.
Well, and take it you did. Now, I got to ask, you know, you've really come to the forefront, at least in the last year, of a lot of the MMA media and really a lot of the fans. Now, do you attribute that to anything specific?
No, you know what? I've been asked a lot about, you know, my thoughts about UFC or the bigger shows, but you know, like I've been blessed with the opportunities I've been given, and as long as I focus on the task at hand, as long as I make sure I'm prepared for my fights and I fight a spectacular fight, or I give it my all and I'm impressive, then I know the next opportunity is going to arise. So as long as I keep taking the opportunities that I have and I you know, attack them full force, as long as I do that, then the opportunities will keep coming to me, and I'm not looking for anything else but the fight that I have at hand.
Well, you know, you talked about being prepared for the fight, and one way that you're getting prepared, Grudge Training Center, Trevor Whitman. You know, why don't you tell about their influence on you and how they've helped the fight career?
You know, Trevor Whitman and the Grudge team, as far as the team goes, you know, we got some of the best in the world, and every day in there we get pushed. We push each other without hurting each other, and we push without hurting. It means we get better, and as long as we're not injured, we can continue to get better. So I have the blessings of the training partners that help and push me without injuring me, and then I got Trevor Whitman, who's a master, and he's an incredible brain, as well as one of my best friends. I'm proud to call him one of my best friends. As far as a mentor, you know, somebody that I can call if I'm ever in trouble, and the mental training he does with us is just as good as the physical training. I mean, I mean, you can't touch him.
Well, that was one thing I want to ask. I've interviewed a few fighters that have worked under Trevor, and they all say extremely nice guy, very quiet, but a great mental coach, and probably, as we all know, one of the better stand-up coaches in MMA today. You know, other than just being, you know, his nicety, what other influence does he bring to the game in terms of the physical aspects?
I mean, the physical aspect, he's been in the boxing game forever. He's been around the best of the best in the business. He's been everywhere you can be. So, I mean, as far as you know, experience, he's been to the highest levels. And like I said, I'm proud to call him one of my friends. You know, and that's where a lot of people go. You can have somebody that's super good at something, and you don't click with them mentally, and it just doesn't work. You know, so as long as this is working, I'm going to stick with it, and I know where I come from, and I'm not going anywhere.
Well, I got to say, at least in the last few bites that we have seen you here in Canada, it's definitely working. Now, what's next for the Ruckus? Will you be fighting at Instinct? Do we know where you're signed next? Do we know where you're fighting next?
You know, this contract is up, and as far as the contracts go, that's up to my manager and the decisions they make. I just do what I'm told. You know, I do what I'm told in the gym as far as my training and my diet, my nutrition, and as long as I do what I'm told, usually the outcome handles itself. And I put all faith in my training partners, my manager Sven Beam, and I just want to represent for the fans. And I've said it time and time again. As long as I go out there and 100%, if I'm getting beat up and I lose, as long as I put on a good show for the fans and it was fun to watch, I'm okay with it. Win or lose, I'm good with it.
Well, you definitely have not put a disappointing show on since coming to Canada, so we love you for that. Now, before we let you go, family, friends, sponsors you want to give a shout out to?
Guy from Inked Out, 303, thegym303.com, Purdy Bodies by Jake, Josh Ford, the Grudge Training Center, Eric Telly with Stedman Hawkings, Max Muscle Sports Nutrition. Hey, their supplements are the bomb. Pink House, Powerhouse. If I forgot anybody else, I'm sorry. Oh, Matt Donovan with the world famous Shotgun Willies.
Got to say, fighters, if you want to know how to flog your sponsors, Brendan can show you how to do it. That was beautiful. Once again, big win, Don Wilson. Brendan, the Ruckus Thatch, Top MMA News.
Yeah.